A very good evening to one and all. On behalf of Ayurveda Map, I invite you all for today's session. Myself, Dr. Radhika Satishan, working as gynecologist in Vaidyaratnam Ayurveda Foundation and also running Prasutika Wellness Clinic. So today we are having a free webinar series that is Anubhava. And today we are having regarding the abnormal uterine bleeding. And it will be taken by Dr. Wahida Rahman Madam. So this Anubhava is a free webinar series. So it is organized by us, that is Ayurveda Map, and it is sponsored by Dr. P. Alikutti's Kottakkal Ayurveda Pharmacy. So when we speak about Dr. P. Alikutti's Kottakkal Ayurveda Pharmacy, it is situated at Kottakkal, that is Malappuram district, Kerala. And also there has been a part of its mother concern, that is Dr. P. Alikutti's Kottakkal Ayurveda and Modern Hospital since 1965. And KAP manufactures around 400 classical products and 40 proprietary medicines in their GMP and ISO certified production unit. They also develop ancient formulations into proprietary medicines, and they also does food and nutraceutical. They have a food and nutraceutical division that produces various types of dietary and nutritional supplements. So if you want to know more about Dr. P. Alikutti's Kottakkal Ayurveda Pharmacy, please contact Dr. Jasu. As we all know, Ayurveda Map, a small introduction regarding Ayurveda Map. So Ayurveda Map was started in 2016 by a group of young doctors, and it was officially inaugurated by the most respected Dr. P.M. Warrier sir in 2017. And we started our journey through in-hand practical sessions. So we started out with Marmayu. It was an intense training program on the application of Marma, and then followed by Marma Bandha. It was regarding the bandaging session. And then we had sessions regarding the regarding Varnya, that was on practical sessions on Ayurveda cosmetic therapies. We had almost 3 sessions. Then we had Medi Sujok. It was about the Sujok therapy for the medical professionals. Then Agneya, it was a workshop on Agni Karma. Then Vistara, it was for the business development for medical professionals. Then due to the COVID conditions, we had to shift our in-hand practical sessions into online practical sessions with the warm responses that we received from our participants. So then we started our online sessions from January 2020. So we kickstart with Varnya. That was an online practical session on Ayurveda cosmetic therapies. Then Brajaka, online certificate course on Ayurveda dermatology. And Gala, an online course on Ayurvedic management of thyroid disorders. And also we had Prayana. It was a reorientation program to Ayurveda students and young doctors to build their career in Ayurveda. Then we had Kriti. It was an online session on Ayurveda product making. Then Dhyana, it was about the therapeutic yoga session. And Nayana, it was the session on common eye diseases, management and Kriya Kramas. Then we had Vibha. It was a session on the cosmetic product preparation. And then we had our first gynecological session, that was Pushya. And then we had Medas, that was the management of obesity and diabetes. And last we had the Shipra, that was regarding the art of cupping. Then we also started a new venture, that is Swadhyaya. It is an aid to self-study. It is to support the students academically during the pandemic condition. And we provide recorded classes, detailed notes, one-to-one doubt clearances, question paper, and research article discussions were also done. So now I wanted to give you an information about the new upcoming online session of Ayurveda Map, that is Varnyam. It was on online practical session regarding the cosmetic therapies, and mainly we are concentrating on the skin and hair. And it will start on November 24th. And if you want to know the more information and if you want to register, please be fast and contact Dr. Jasood. So now currently we are undergoing a session on Garbha Samskara, antenatal care and postnatal care, that is Raksha. So we had 25 plus hours of classes and we had 16 brainstorming sessions. Still the session is going on and it will end on 26th of November. So now today we are here at the free session, Anubhava, and the topic for today's session is abnormal uterine bleeding. And we know our presenter is Dr. Wahida Rahman. She is very famous to us. She is now working as a senior medical officer at Government Ayurveda Dispensary, Pathanamthitta. And she did her BAMS from Government Ayurveda College, Trippunithura with first rank, and also MS in Prasuti Tantra and Sri Roga from Government Ayurveda College, Trivandrum. And she is working as ISM medical officer from 2006 onwards. And she has successfully treated 1,849 infertility cases as on 12/9/2021. So we can say that she is a mother of 1,849 cases. And she had received the Best Doctor of Pathanamthitta in 2015, Bishak Pratibha State Award of AMAI in 2016, Charaka Award of State Government in 2017, and she is also a faculty of AMAI Vanida Clinic from the beginning. And she has also conducted a number of seminars all over Kerala, some parts of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka on various aspects of Ayurveda gynecology. And she has also conducted webinar series for doctors at Australia, UAE, and India. So with warm welcome, I invite you, madam, for our today's session. Thank you so much for joining us. So over to you, madam.
Thank you, Dr. Radhika. In the name of God Almighty and with the blessings of all my gurus, a warm welcome to one and all the participants. Can I share the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it visible?
Yes, it is visible. Ma'am, can you make it in the slide? Yes. Perfect, ma'am.
Okay. Then, once again, in the name of God Almighty, with the blessings of all my gurus, that is Guru Pada Padamboja Paraga Vishadekshana. Here, today, we have a discussion class about abnormal uterine bleeding. While treating or while being a gynecological practitioner, we have to treat abnormal uterine bleeding in various ways, various aspects and in various conditions. And we all know all the conditions are not the similar and not treated by a single medicine or a single way. So firstly, we have to identify the conditions and we have to make our yukti to apply which line of treatment is needed and which type of treatment will get Upashaya. Of course, there may be Anupashaya also. If we found Anupashaya, then please stop the medication, any medication, and then we'll find for Upashaya immediately. Okay. Then abnormal uterine bleeding, Ayurvedic perspective. Coming to the topic, abnormal uterine bleeding. Any deviation from the normal frequency, that is the normal frequency is 21 to 35 days cycles. It is a normal frequency. Mostly normal is 28, but plus or minus 7 days is also considered as normal. Duration 3 to 7 days or amount of menstrual blood 30 to 80 ml. This is a textual reference. In Ayurvedic, it is Chatvaro Rajasahasranam, that is up to 120 ml is normal. In women of reproductive age group. Incidence of AUB, 20% of gynecopy cases. Now the percentage become increasing. The normal menstrual period, once again, blood loss less than 80 ml, average 30 to 35 ml per day, I think. Then duration of flow 2 to 7 days, average 4 days, and cycle length 21 to 35 days, average 28 days. Then phases of menstrual cycle. Here, we all know this is just remaining the initial theory. That is a follicular phase begins with the menses and ends with the luteinizing hormone surge, that is LH surge. Ovulation 30 to 36 hours only, begins with the LH surge and ends with ovulation. And then luteal phase, it is constant. It is constant. That is, if after ovulation, 14th day is the luteal phase. It is constant. But we know follicular phase may vary And luteal ovulation time may also vary, but the luteal phase is constant, begins with the end of the LH surge and ends with the end onset of menses. This is the initially the follicular phase, the maturation phase of ovum. Then here the FSH and estradiol are the main hormone. Then at the time of ovulation, the LH surge is there. Then the luteal phase. In the luteal phase, there is progesterone is the main hormone, and the estradiol level decreases. This is the normal hormonal mechanism in the menstrual cycle. Then cessation of menstruation. How the menses cease naturally? There are two main mechanisms: formation of platelet plug and importance in the functional endometrium, and prostaglandin dependent vasoconstriction, here important in the basalis layer. We all know the endometrium, that is the thing that shed out during menstruation is the endometrium. The endometrium normally anatomically it has two layers, stratum basalis and stratum functionalis, and the formation of platelet plug is the important the functional endometrium, and prostaglandin dependent vasoconstriction etc. important in the basalis layer, stratum basalis layer. If the formation is impaired, then also it will cause menorrhagia. If there is hyperplasia, if there is thickening of the endometrium, it also will cause menorrhagia. So the formation of the endometrium is also important as we consider as abnormal uterine bleeding. In our classes Ayurveda, it is said that Sukshma Kesha Pradikasha Bija Rekta Vahasira. Sukshma Kesha Pradikasha means the endometrial arteries are hairy nature, that is curled in nature, etc. Bija Rekta Vahasira. It is termed in Ayurveda. So in allopathy also, the modern science also, the endometrial arteries or capillaries are in curly appearance, hair-like nature. Then the conditions of menorrhagia or abnormal uterine bleeding. Conditions of abnormal uterine bleeding is polymenorrhea, that is frequent, less than 21 days menstruation at regular intervals, and menorrhagia, here excessive and or prolonged menstruation at regular intervals is known as menorrhagia. Metrorrhagia, uterine bleeding occurring at completely irregular but frequent intervals, the amount being variable. Then coming to menometrorrhagia, excessive and or prolonged bleeding at irregular intervals. And then intermenstrual bleeding, bleeding of variable amount occurs between regular menstrual periods. Hypomenorrhea, it is known as scanty menstruation, the amount is less. Then oligomenorrhea, infrequent menstruation, that is the day is interval is not predictable, it is always more than 35 days. If always more than 35 days the interval, and 35 days, 40 days, 50 days, etc., it is known as oligomenorrhea. Then amenorrhea, absence of menses for more than 6 months. And postmenopausal bleeding, uterine bleeding that occurs more than 1 year after the last menses in a woman with ovarian failure is known as postmenopausal bleeding. These are the conditions of abnormal uterine bleeding. During our practice, all these conditions we have met, and we have to treat accordingly if there is any assistance is needed. Then coming to DUB, it is classified into primary menorrhagia, DUB, and secondary menorrhagia. That is, it having some causes, some underlying pathologies in secondary menorrhagia. And first one, systemic causes like hypothyroidism, SLE, and liver failure, etc. It also causes menorrhagia. Here we have to treat the systemic causes first. And then initially, if there is large blood loss, we have to stop the bleeding. Then we have to treat the systemic causes for curing the disease. Otherwise, it will not cure with any medicine. And then clotting dysfunction, uterine causes like fibroids, etc. Then iatrogenic IUCDs, that is intrauterine contraceptive devices, that copper T insertion failure, etc. Then injudicious use of hormones, anticoagulants, which also causing menorrhagia, which is iatrogenic. And emotional causes, that is emotional stress is one of the main causes for menorrhagia. Some patients complaining that they have menorrhagia when they are at their spouse's home. And when they are free or when they are at their own home, there is no menorrhagia in the normal cycle. If they are in the spouse's home, there is menorrhagia. Maybe the emotional stress is the one of the main factor in such cases. Then, in any way, pregnancy and related disorders should always be ruled out. If if menorrhagia occur after 14 or 15 years, then irrespective of the marriage status, pregnancy and related complications should be ruled out first, because there are so many such cases we have in our practice. That is, if the patient is 16 or 17 years coming us with menorrhagia, we start with our Muslika Diradi, Pushyanit, etc. But if we are not knowing any test, or if we ask any pregnancy-related questions, they will beat us. So we have to rule out with the urine test or blood test, pregnancy and related complications. Otherwise, there may be incomplete abortion leading to heavy menorrhagia, that is menstrual bleeding. Then etiology of AUB. Here, structural, it is defined as palm coin in non-gravid woman. Gravid uterus is a cause for pregnancy and bleeding in pregnancy, but in non-gravid woman, we can discuss later. Life cycle, that is pre-puberta, menarche, reproductive and post-menopause. And anatomy causes from bottoms up, from the external genitalia, the vagina, any abrasions or common lesions in the vagina, cervix, uterine body, endometrial polyp, and etc. From anatomical differences from cause from bottoms up, there may be cause for menorrhagia. Then a figure classification of palm coin, that is bleeding, abnormal uterine bleeding. PALM means the structural causes for heavy menstrual bleeding. That is a PALM. Means P for polyps, endometrial or cervical polyps, both causing menorrhagia. Then A for adenomyosis. Adenomyosis is a condition where the indwelling of endometrium into the myometrium, that is endometriosis interna, is termed as adenomyosis, resulting in menorrhagia. Then leiomyoma. Leiomyoma means the formation of new cells like fibroids, etc. There's a mucosal fibroid and other intracapital fibroids. They are the most chance for causing abnormal uterine bleeding. And malignancy and hyperplasia. These are the structural causes, that is the PALM, polyp, adenomyosis, leiomyoma, submucosal or intracavitary, etc. and malignancy, hyperplasia, etc. Then the non-structural causes of heavy menstrual bleeding is the coin, that is coagulopathy, von Willebrand's hemophilia, etc. Ovulatory dysfunction, that is a hormonal dysfunction. Endometrial primary disorders of endometrium, endometrial hyperplasia due to the hormonal dysfunction. Then iatrogenic causes, that is due to injudicious administration of anticoagulants or pill users, that is the contraceptive pills, etc. Then the N means not as classified. This is the palm coin classification, and we can stage the bleeding like the TNM staging model. That is, if polyp is present, P1, adenomyosis C0, A0, like that, etc. If it is present, then we can add P0, A0, or if there is leiomyoma, then L1. If it is not, then no malignancy, M0, etc., we can stage. Then the endometrial polyp, generally benign, can be cancerous or precancerous. Near fallopian tube can cause difficulty in pregnancy also. And it also causes miscarriage. And this is the main cause for menorrhagia, the endometrial polyp. And there are two types of endometrial polyps, benign and second one, malignant. If it is benign polyp, we can treat with our Ayurvedic medications. We'll discuss it later. And we can treat with 2 or 3 cycles. The polyps shed out and the patient wash, and they will carry that thing. And after 2 to 3 cycles, we again do an ultrasound scan on the 7th day of menstruation before or after giving Misraga Snehas for relaxation. And for knowing the size of the polyp or the if the polyp is gone or not, etc., we have to do the ultrasound scan just after the menstruation. That is just after the shodhana, natural shodhana. The menstruation is a natural shodhana of the uterus, and just after the menstruation, if the bleeding is on 4th day, then we have to give Misragasneham capsule. It is available with the Sidaram, etc. Misragasneham capsule is there. Just one capsule at night for 3 days, 4th, 5th, and 6th day, just for a shodhana, laxation, and it all the Misragasneha is also Garbhasha shodhana. Then we can do the scan on the 7th day. It will clearly we have an idea whether the polyp is there or it's gone, whether there is any infection or it is gone, etc. Then polycystic ovary. Nowadays, there are so many cases of polycystic ovary. In polycystic ovarian disease, there are a wide range of abnormal uterine bleeding. Initially, the polycystic ovary normal bleeding, then the bleeding with the scanty menstruation. After sometimes the scanty menstruation changed into oligomenorrhea. After sometimes it may be changed into amenorrhea for more than 4 or 6 months, etc. Then there is menorrhagia. If we treat some medicine with for amenorrhea, then it becomes menorrhagia. So the polycystic ovarian disease is a group of syndrome in which the abnormal uterine bleeding from amenorrhea to menorrhagia or menorrhagia present. So this is a syndrome. We have to treat all the abnormal uterine bleeding cases in this. In each and every stage, the management is different. This is a normal ovary, and this is the polycystic ovary. This is the ultrasonogram of the normal ovary. That just 1 or 2 follicles is developing, and one become the Graafian follicle. This is the polycystic ovary. More than 10 numbers of follicles are developing, and no one we attain the Graafian follicle structure. Then another causes disease is the uterine causes endometriosis. In endometriosis, we initially know the adenomyosis, etc. The endometriosis means presence of functional endometrium other than the original site. That's the original site of endometrium is endometrium itself. The other site is tubes, ovaries, pelvis, and then lungs, shoulders, etc. Extra pelvic region. Then the endometriosis, that is the endometriosis externa. Then the endometriosis interna means indwelling of the endometrium into the myometrium. Both these conditions will resulting in menorrhagia. Here, this is the adenomyosis. Pure line lay down on poor endometrial support for the pregnancy, and this is the indwelling of the endometrial tissues into the myometrium. Initially, normally the endometrium and myometrium, there is no definite wall. Just anatomical demarcation is there, but there is not encroachment of the endometrium into the myometrium. But while having the disease, that is endometriosis interna, the endometrium may indwell into the myometrium, and it may stay there as cystic places. The myometrium will enlarge and resulting in a severe congestive dysmenorrhea with polymenorrhea or with menorrhagia. This is the features of adenomyosis. Adenomyoma is there. And then uterine fibroids. Regarding the fibroids, while treating the fibroids, the size is, the site is more important than the size. What amount the size is not mandatory, but where is the site? Where is the origin of the fibroid, leiomyoma? Where is the site? It is the important thing. If it is intracavitary or submucous, they produce menorrhagia. If it is intramural, they less produce menorrhagia. That is here, intramural. If it is pedungulator or subserous, they don't produce menorrhagia. But if it is intracavitary or submucous, it will produce menorrhagia. And the submucous fibroid, if it is less or 2 centimeter in size, it is also significant. If there is a distortion of endometrium with fibroids, with submucous or intramural fibroid, if the intramural fibroid is large, then only the distortion of endometrium occurs. It is also causing uterine bleeding, dysfunctional uterine bleeding. Okay. Then the endometrial cancer, the endometrial hyperplasia leading to endometrial cancer. It is nowadays, if there is no menstruation for 2 to 3 months or 3 to 4 months, etc., then the injudicious administration of hormones is there. Then menorrhagia occurs. After that, there is endometrial hyperplasia. The endometrial hyperplasia, if don't treat it properly, which will change into endometrial carcinoma. Then the coagulation disorders. Coagulation disorders inherited. Von Willebrand's hemophilia, it is inherited disorder, and acquired disorder, ITP, and leukemia, idiopathic thrombocytopenic purpura, and leukemia, and drug-induced like coumadin, heparin, aspirin, etc. induced, they are, and they also having coagulation difficulties. Then bleeding from other sides, GA, neoplasia or hemorrhoids, and urethral carangle or diverticulum, renal lithiasis or hemorrhagic cyst, and gynecological labia, cervix or vagina, trauma, infection or neoplasia can cause bleeding. Then AUB of lifestyle approach, pre-pubertal, there may be estradiol with estrogen withdrawal at birth. There are some cases that is a 9-month baby having menstruation, or the 9-month baby in the vulva, there is some blood appearance. Is the baby is getting menstruated? No, it is the withdrawal bleeding and withdrawal of estrogen, maternal estrogen. That is the sign. Then foreign body maybe in the prepubertal or while playing, there may be foreign bodies, and also causes trauma and bleeding, and sarcoma, ovarian tumor, and trauma, etc. Then at menarche, coagulation defects, hypothalamic immaturity, and psychogenic. Some fear about menstruation, some fear about other things, etc. will cause menorrhagia. And the reproductive age group, pregnancy, anovulation, and anatomical causes. Then postmenopausal age group, carcinoma, then vaginal atrophy, estradiol replacement therapy, and anatomical causes. Then investigations. For a young girl with puberty menorrhagia, complete hemogram with platelet and coagulation screening to rule out the cause. Then if there is anemia, there is also menorrhagia, always menorrhagia. The mothers are complaining that if we said she's having anemia, no doctor, she's having more blood, that is why more blood is coming from menstruation. It's no, if there is anemia, there is menorrhagia. Then for reproductive age group, pregnancy to be rolled out, and complete blood count, thyroid function test, ultrasound scan, and pap smear to rule out any malignancy. Then for perimenopausal age group, complete hemogram, pap smear, and ultrasound scan. Then local examination with a speculum examination and also bimanual vaginal examination we can do. Then the curettage, it is from the modern side. That is a curettage, 3 samples, endocervical, lower segment or upper segment, curettage, and then importance for ultrasound scan to rule out uterine or ovarian masses is any, and endometrial thickness on TVS, transvaginal scanning, more than 12 millimeter in the reproductive age group and more than 5 millimeter in the postmenopausal age group or perimenopausal age group is significant. Here we can read till 16, 20 millimeter, etc. with our medicine. It also causes menorrhagia. Then the treatment in according to the modern explanation and reassurance, treatment of anemia if there, and medical treatment, non-hormonal and hormonal. And this is the new system, that is Mirena system, Mirena insertion for controlling the bleeding. It is like that of property insertion, and also it is an controlled emission of for controlling the hormonal level or the controlling the bleeding. Then the others, the minimally invasive surgery, that is endometrial ablation, transcervical resection of endometrium, laser ablation, etc. Thermal balloon ablation, microwave endometrial ablation, and radiofrequency ablation, cryo ablation, etc. After that, the hysterectomy should be the last resort. Then abnormal uterine bleeding, Ayurvedic view. Coming to the Ayurvedic view, it is the Anubhava section. We have to discuss the our Anubhava related with the abdominal uterine bleeding. And then initially we have to discuss the theory. So I discussed it later, earlier. Then Rekta Yoni, one among the Yoni Rogas. It is Asrudharam is Asanubadrava of Yoni Roga. Increase in Rekta Pramana, especially the Resa Bhava, and hence the name Asrudhara. That is here Asrudhara. Abnormal uterine bleeding, it is termed as Asrudhara or increase in the Rekta Pramana. Then the assessment, long duration of flow, pallor, presence of anemia or passing of blood clots, increased number of sanitary parts. Then the causes, organic causes, maybe fibroid uterus, adenomyosis, IUCD in utero, PID, etc. Then systemic causes like liver dysfunction, severe hypertension. Then endometrial causes like hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism, etc. Then emotional upset, hormone therapy, SLE, etc. These are the causes. Then the Nidana. Coming to the Nidana, Levana, that is Rekta Pitta Koba, Amla, that is Rekta Pitta, that also causes Rekta Pitta Koba, and Kadu, Vada Pitta Koba, this Adimatro Yoga, Guru, Vidahi, Nikta, Viruddhashana, Atshashana, Ajirna, Shukta, Dethi, Malsu, Sura, Malsya, Rekta Pittagara, Amla Paga, and Ushna Virya Drevyas will cause the increase in the Rekta Pramana in Dreva Rupa, that is the Sara Rupa, which causes the Rekta Pitta and the Rekta Pradara. Dosha, Vada, Abana and Vyana Vada, Pitta, Pajaga and Renjaga Pitta, Akapha, Kledaga Kapha. Dushya, Resa and Rekta, Agni, Jadarakni and Dhatokni is featured here, and Srodas, Resa, Rekta, Mamsa, Medos, and Atavaha Srodas is featured here. And here the Srodha Dushti is Adipravarti and Vimarga Gamana. The Srodha Dushti, there are 4 Srodha Dushtis, Adipravarti, Sangam, Vimarga Gamanam, etc. Then here the Adipravarti and Vimarga Gamana. Then the Sathya Sathyada, Arthavodpatti, that is Koshtagadi, it's Masena Bajidam Dectum, etc. Sukha Sathyam, that is the puberty menorrhagia, is Sukha Sathya. Then endometriosis like cause, then Shakhagadi, that is the Shakhagadi of Abanavayu. Then Krishra Sathyam, and then PCOS like Aveva Dushti, Iapium, then submucous fibroids and adenomyosis, bad prognosis, maybe Asadhya and submucous fibrosis especially. And cervicitis, polyps, PID, etc. having good prognosis with our medicine. Then management according to Ayurveda, Nidana Parivarjana and assurance, and Rektadisara Durnama Rektabitta Chikitsa we can adopt it according to the condition. Yonivyaba Chikitsa etc. can be used. Then for anilomana, if we needed anilomana while treating the menorrhagia, then we can use Gandharvahastadi Kashaya, Chidivilvadi Kashaya, and Vaishwanara Churna for anilomana. And for Garbhasya Shodhanartham, if there are bleeding, there is spotted spot bleeding for more than 1 month, etc. There is bleeding, but there is no heavy bleeding. We have to make some Garbhasya Shodhana and stop the bleeding. So we can use Pulinguramba, Saubhagya Shundi. These are 1 teaspoon with buttermilk or with Arishta, we can use 25 ml of Arishta, we can use. And Dronabishpi Sorasa with Palm Jaggery. Dronabishpi Sorasa, 30 ml Dronabishpi Sorasa with a 10 gram Palm Jaggery is good for the Garbhasya Shodhana. And Saptasarang Kashayam, Palashatok Kwadha. We have to take 30 gram of Palashatok and make a Kwadha, and we can give the Palashatok Kwadha for the Garbhasya Shodhana. Then Kledaharam and Sangrahanam. If we need to Kledahara the condition, then Padola Kadurohunyadi Kashaya is best. Then Trayandyadi Kashaya also having Kledahara property. Guluchyadi Kashaya, Tiktang Kashaya, Mahatiktang Kashaya, and Gulgulu Tiktang Kashaya. All the Kashayas here we use, that is 15 ml Kashaya with 45 ml lukewarm water twice daily. most often I use the Kashaya Sukshma Churna for treating the menorrhagia cases because the preservatives may cause some irritations in some people. And otherwise, we can use prepared Kashaya also if there is no gastritis symptoms, etc. Then if we need Stambhana while doing the treatment, then Musuli Khadiradi Kashaya, Drakshadi Kashaya, Shadavariyadi Kashaya, and Pushyanik Churna. Here we use Pushyanik Churna half teaspoon with Kashaya or with the Tandulodaga or with the honey. Then Shadavari Gulam and Sarasiddha Magarandadi Churnam. It is said in Sahasra Yoga, and Ashogatok milk decoction. That is 30 gram of Ashogatok in half glass milk with 4 glass water and boil and reduce to 1 glass. Squeeze well and use once per day for 3, 5, 7 days for the stoppage of menorrhagia. Then Nasyam, if there is no medicine can stop the menstruation, we can use Nasya because while treating the Asrgara or Pradara, the Acharya says, if we know if there is shedding is Amadushta Rekta, then let it go. It can go. If there is Shuddha Rekta is coming out, anyway, Rektam Jeevanam Idisthiti, we have to stop the blood. So, the other measures are not effective while stopping the menstruation. Then if it is Shuddha Rekta is going, then we can, we have to produce Stambhana or stoppage of menstruation. Here, according to our Acharya, it is the Rekta Stambhanobhayas are Sandanam, Skandanam, Chaiva, Pajanam, Dahanam, Tada. Pranam, Kashaya, Sandakte, Rektam, Skandede, Himam. We can apply Shido Bajara over lower abdomen or Nabhi and Murthini, etc. That is the Dhanandaram Thailam with the banana, that is the Kadali. And also Dhanandaram Thailam with Namanidam. Apply on for the Murthini and over the Nabhi, which will produce Rektam Skandede Himam. And also the Deshamura Srudat Shiram. Also, we can use for the painful menorrhagia, for the Dhara on the lower abdomen and Nabhi Pradesha, etc. And Nasya, here, Nasya is contraindicated while the Ridu, because if we know the Ridu Charya or Ridumadi Charya, Nasya is contraindicated because Nasya Karmana Ridur Vyabhadyade or Yoni Rubashishyadi is the result. So here we need the Ridu Vyabhat because here more Ridu is there, that is more Pradara is there, more bleeding is there. We have to stop the bleeding. So we need Ridu Vyabhat and we also need the Yoni Shoshana. Otherwise it is Dharana. We need the Yoni Shoshana. So we can do Nasya. Nasya with the Vasha Swarasa, Durva Swarasa, Durvadi Krida, etc. We can do Nasya. Vasha Swarasa and Durva Swarasa, etc. 8 drops. And also Manusha Stanya is also good for Rekta Pitta Shamana. And it also good for if there is not infected with HIV or HBsAg, etc. We can use Manusha Stanya also in 8 drops in each nostril for 3 days. It is for the stoppage of menstruation. Then Piju like Dhanandaran Daila and Navanida and Dhanandaran Daila with Kadali. And there is a small banana. Kadali, it is also Shida Virya. Rektam Skandede Himam, there may be cessation of menstruation. Then Guliga preparations, we use Pushyanu Guliga, Pravala Panjamrita Rasa, Chandragala Rasa, Pradharandaga Rasa, Chandraprabha Guliga, 1 BD. All the tablets are 1 BD. We are using Pushyanu tablets. If there is menorrhagia is more, then you use 2 BD. And Dhatri Loham, etc. Arishtasavas. Arishtas are not good for treating all the menorrhagia, but if there is needed, then only some amount of Arishtas we can advise. That is the Kudaja Arishtam, Draksha Arishtam, Ushirasavam, Chandanasavam, Ashoga Arishtam and Shadibadhyasam, etc. By with combining of 3 Arishtas or the Ashoga Arishtam and Kudaja Arishtam itself, etc. And the 25 ml BD is the dosage. Then management of state doshic ways asrudara, dosha avasthas. Paitiga asrudharam, that is heavy, prolonged, and profuse bleeding. Nidanda rektam sravadi muhur muhuradhartimat. Here rektayoni asragadisude, etc. Paitigi bhuri artava is there. Protocol for emergency management. Wait without interference. First, stop all medicines for note the nature of the bleeding, and if there is amanubandha, then shadanga we can use. Then the medicines for this type of Paitiga Asrudharas, Mahadikta Kashaya, Shadavariyadi Kashaya, Sarasida Magarandadi Churna, Ashogatok Kshirapaka, and Pravala Basma in milk, Mojarasa in milk, Payasya, Ulpala, Bisa, Chandana, Musta, with Paya, Sharkara, and Madhu. We not need all the things. We can use these things in this condition. Then Madhuga Tribhala Lotra with Madhu and Mahadikta Kridapana, Shadavariyadi Krida, Dhatriyadi Krida, and Kriyakramas. If we need to stop the bleeding, if Nidandra Rektasruvadi, then we can induce Virejana. Virejana can stop the other bleeding. So with Virejana, with Avibhati Churna, etc. Snehavasti, we can use Snehavasti with Madhyashtiga Taila, etc. Then Piju in Adonabhi, like Dhanandaram and Navanida, etc. And Nasya and Mothadaila, as explained earlier. Then Kabaja Asrudhara. If there is Kabaja Asrudhara is there, then scanty and prolonged bleeding is there. Then there may be Avranajanya as in PCOS. Then clotted Grandhi Artava, there may be present. Treatment principle, providing Rucha and or Snikta plus Ushna Guna for fasten the shedding, and then stop the bleeding. Nimba and Guluji with Madhya, that is Nimbamradasava is good, and Guluji Sattva with Nimbamradasava is also good. Then Nimbamradasava, Kumaryasava, and Punarnavasava, etc. also we can use. Coming to Vadiga Asrudhara, here the treatment is Tilachurna, Dedi Krida, Vasa with Madhu. Then Mahamashaya Thailam with the Jeeragarishtam. In Vadiga Asrudharam, there may be severe pain, etc. Then Mahamashaya Thailam with Jeeragarishtam will reduce the pain and reduce the bleeding. Navayas Thailam with the Dashamoolarishtam, etc. Thailam, here we use 10 ml with the 25 ml Arishta. Then coming to the carcinoma of cervix, post-coital bleeding or contact bleeding is there. Foul smelling, blood stain discharge is there. Post-menopausal bleeding may be there, and irregular bleeding may be there. Here, risk factors for carcinoma of cervix is early age of intercourse, repeated or frequent childbirth, multiple sexual partners, HPV infections type 16 and 18 are more vulnerable for carcinoma of cervix, low socioeconomic status leading to low immunity, and smoking-like habits. Treatment consideration, and here I have no so much experience. Some experience is only there. Rasagandhi Medug, Tribala Gugulu, Mahadikta Grida, Gulugulu Tikta Grida, and Madhusnuhi Rasayana, etc. And also one medicine, that is the Arthavilyam Kashaya. They said that this is not the Chupichundadi Kashaya in Sahasra Yoga. The Arthavilyam Kashaya, that is Arthavilyam Arakki Jeeragam, Eshti Rushagam Pavummayittu, Pacha Kashayam Anbodu, Panchasankhyan Kudikilo, Paluthalanja Vranangal, Andarvidrathi Pidagadigal, Tarshya Marudamete, Sarpa Shirassu pole odungidum. Here it is a Malayalam yoga and in the Anubhuta yoga, and here the drug is the Laksha and the cumin seeds, and that is Jeeraga, and Eshti Madhu, and Parushaga, and Shodhida Madhusnuhi. The only 5 drugs, and it is the milk decoction, and Bodu Panchasankhyan, that is the we advise 5 days Kashaya and 10 days stoppage, then 5 days Kashaya in this type of Andarvidradi like conditions, and it also a good drug for prophylactic treatment of liver cancer, that is carcinoma of liver, hepatocellular carcinoma also. And before coming to the Pathyam, we can discuss some more things. That is, while treating the menorrhagia, if we have a patient with menorrhagia, and if it is a small school going student or the puberty, menorrhagia, etc. Initially, we have to rule out whether there is anemia. If there is anemia, then Vyaushadhi Takra is one of the good drug for treating the puberty, menorrhagia. And Annabedi Sindura. Annabedi Sindura, 3 pinch of Annabedi Sindura with lime juice for mixing for the small amount of lime juice and honey twice daily after food. It's very good for maintaining the hematinic, that is the blood level, that is hemoglobin level, and it will cease the puberty, menorrhagia. And also the one tablet of Himalaya, which is also good for treating and the puberty, menorrhagia. And if we get a patient of menorrhagia, we need to stop. Then we can use some home remedies. That is the Ledjalu, that is the Bryophyllum sensitivum, and it's milk decoction, Tamula milk decoction, which also reduces the for 5 days 3 Ledjalu with pasted well and added half glass milk and 4 glass water, and then we can use for once per day or twice daily, which will reduce the menstruation. And also we can also use in the Chikitsa Manjari, etc. Chikitsa Manjari is a Malayalam text. It is said that the Cherugadaladi need Kadimai, Chuvanna Cherugadaladi need. That is Abar Marga, red variety of Abar Marga and Swaresa with Tandulodaga, which also good for treating menorrhagia. Then the Naligere Prasunerva, Jebeya Beleya Biva, Jembuvalkena Vak Padaha Asabdara Vinashana. That is a Naligere Prasuna. Here the coconut flower buds, Naligere Prasuna, and Jeba, that is the hibiscus flower, and Bella, the root of Bella, that is the Bella Mula milk decoction, etc., which also reduces the bleeding and stop the bleeding. And the Jembu Valkena Kwadaha. If there is bleeding associated with PCOS, etc., then the Jambuvalka Kwada is very effective for reducing the bleeding of PCOS. Jambuvalka means the Eugenia jambolana, that is Nyavel. Nyavel Tok, that is Jambu Tok, and a milk decoction. These are used as milk decoction because in milk decoction, sufficient amount of calcium also supplying there, which is also good for the coagulation. So they may reduce the bleeding level, etc. These are some home remedies we can discuss. And then please advise rest for the patient for the Paithika Asrikdara and Nidanta Raktasravati, etc. condition. And please advise some exercise for the patients of we need uterine shodhana, that is there is a small amount of loss of blood. If there is an Garbhasya Shodhana, it will cause the stoppage of menstruation, then we can advise small amount of exercise. These are the things we can remain and remember while doing the treatment of menorrhagia. And also there are so many doubts we can discuss. And then coming to the Pathya, diet made with barley. That is, this is a common Pathya said in our classics. Eva annam abhayarishtam sidum tailam jashilayel vipalyayo raja pathyani prayogamsya samakshigan. These we can use in between. That is, this is the common Pathya for Yoni Rogas. In Yoni Roga also, if we can't treat the Yoni Roga in proper way, in the proper time, it may result the Ubadrava, that is Asrikdara, Arsho, Gulmadi, Nabadamscha, Aniladibhi. This is the complication of Yoni Roga. That is Asrikdara is also one complication of Yoni Roga. So the Yoni Roga treatment is also mandatory while treating this disease. And coming to the conclusion, that though multiple factors are involved as a cause for Asrikdara, lifestyle, food habits, family history, occupational, and above all the psychosocial and marital relationships too are found to be the major contributors. That is the psychological aspect, the stress-related aspect I can't explain earlier because if there is any stress and stress-related aspect, then convince them and give Dhidhairyatmadi Vijnana and promote them with the pranayama, etc. and self-confidence, etc. Then we can treat this type of cases. Contribution of Ayurveda is valuable in this junction. And thank you once again for the team Ayurveda Map and KAP Pharmacy for organizing this webinar, and this is a time for discussion. Thank you all the participants for the patient hearing, and we can have an active discussion. There is a sambad, the discussion, that is the Tatvidya Sambhasha. It is Jnanavardhananam Shrestha. It is very good for the Jnanavardhana. We all are in a mood of Jnanavardhana here. So please have a good discussion, and also there may be doctors having more experiences with the treatment of menorrhagia, etc. They can also share their experience also, because it is Anubhava Vardhana. Okay, thank you once again, Dr. Radhika and Dr. Jasul, for inviting me for the webinar. Thank you all, and my humble prayer is Shreyo Bhuyat Sagala Janana.
Thank you so much, madam. Thank you for imparting a very good knowledge into us. Ma'am, so we will start the discussion, ma'am, if you are fine.
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, how can we diagnose, first question, how can we diagnose endometriosis externa, and what are the common symptoms that we can see?
Normally, the endometriosis, the main common symptom is dysmenorrhea, severe congestive dysmenorrhea. Dysmenorrhea, there may be spasmodic dysmenorrhea, just it is a bit soon after the onset of menstruation. But while endometriosis, there may be congestive dysmenorrhea, the dysmenorrhea present before 2 to 3 days before the menstruation, or just before the menstruation, and it again while during the menstruation also there is dysmenorrhea. 2 to 3 days of menstruation also there is dysmenorrhea. In this type of dysmenorrhea with associated symptoms like vomiting and diarrhea, or the pain on the thighs, etc., and pain radiating to the legs and thighs and low back, etc., then we have to identify whether there is endometriosis is or no. So we in this condition, and initially for Ubashaya, we can give Ingvajadi Churna, Indupuganan Churna, etc., with hot water for reducing the pain, etc. Then, and for 4th, 5th, and 6th day, we can give the Misraga Sneha. It is it is now in capsule form. Previously there is the Sneha form. It is very much difficult to intake. So now it is in capsule form with Siddharam and I think Chaitanya Herbals, etc. There is a capsule form, and we can just swallow the Misra Sneha capsule once per day for 3 days for the Shodhana. That is 4th, 5th, and 6th day, and 7th day we can do an ultrasound scan. The golden standard for endometriosis is laparoscopy. But by proper Shodhana, we can do an ultrasound scan. Then we can find there is if there is any adhesions, or if there is any endometrial mass in that is in the ovaries, pelvis, etc. And if there is adherent ovaries to the uterus, etc., this is denoting the endometriosis externa. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. So next question we have: in case of anemia, how menorrhagia occurs, ma'am? As the
case of
anemia, anemic conditions.
Anemic conditions. Okay.
How menorrhagia occurs as the HB percent is low.
As the HB percentage is low, we first in the in our theory class today itself, we initially told that there is cessation of menstruation. It is due to some things, that the cessation is with thrombin, platelet plaque formation, etc. For good platelet plaque formation, thrombin action, there should be good hemoglobin in their blood. Then only there is normal hemostasis may occur. If there is not sufficient hemoglobin or thrombin level, etc., then it will cause the menorrhagia. That is, then there is no sufficient coagulation occurs, it will cause the menorrhagia. This is a common doubt of mothers also. If she is having less blood, then how much this much blood coming out? Here, the blood is in Sararuba, that is Dravaruba is increasing, not the good form of the blood is increasing. Only the Sara and Drava Ruba of blood increasing. The Pandu or anemia is said that the hemodilution, that is, heme is less there, and the Sararuba of blood is increasing. That is why the menorrhagia is causing. Okay. Just give Annabedi Sindura or Vyosha Takra we can see the mechanism, the stoppage of menstruation, and the patient also with the initially the patient will be in less condition and with anemia and having pallor in their face. But with the 2 to 3 days Annabedi Sindura and Vyoshaya Takra or hematine drugs, etc., the patient will be in good chaya and chavi, and we can see the difference.
Ma'am, how safe is Mirena?
It is not safe, but sometimes it will work in controlling the heavy menstrual bleeding, and in some cases there may be some difficulties, etc., but we can discuss the current method for controlling bleeding. Then only I said for the Mirena insertion, not advising all of them to do this, because there are some people came to us with the reports that is their gynecologist advised Mirena for there, is it safe, etc. Then this is not our treatment method. It is the current method to identify. Only I explain here.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, there is another question regarding the Nasya. When the Nasya is to be done, in the morning or evening, and is it like once or twice a day?
Morning and evening. I usually giving Nasya for stoppage of menstruation morning and evening, 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. 8 drops in each nostril.
How long should we give, ma'am?
3 days only.
Okay, 3 days. Then, ma'am, next question. Ma'am, when it comes to menopausal time, there will be a lot of abnormal uterine bleeding with clots. So
Yes.
what kind of treatment can we do at that time?
Initially, we have to recognize whether there is the menorrhagia due to any polyp, then do the treatment of polyp. That is, if there is any polyp, then we can use Panchagola Sava, Kumaria Sava, and Jeeragarishta with Pulingoyambu for the shed outing of the polyp, and Chirivilluadi Kashaya, etc. Then it will increase the menorrhagia, but it will shed out the polyp. And after the 2 or 3 days, the patient says that there may be some clots like that, then we can do the medicine for the stoppage of bleeding, like Musli Gadiradi Kashaya, etc. And we have to do ultrasound scan to confirm the polyp is gone. Or in all the perimenopausal age, there may be adenomyosis is there. Adenomyosis is also a cause for congestive bleeding and congestive menorrhagia. In this case, the uterus becomes bulky in nature. So we have to use to reduce the size of the uterus. Then Bela Kudutuadi Kashaya said in the Sahasra Yoga, Sudiga Jora. That is, in Sudiga Jora, there is, in Sudiga period, there is natural bulkiness of uterus is there. The medicine used in that condition, that is the Bela Kudituva Saparpadabda, Dhanyaga Mudgam Cherupanjamulam, Sasringi Veram Pulare Kudichal, Ichangananam Padinirimane, said in Sahasra Yoga, Sudiga Jora, that is Bela. Everyone know. And Kudituva means the Ananda, and the Parpada, that is the Parpadaga grass. Mustafa Praganjore, that is Parpada, and Abda means up irveli. Then Dhanyaga, that is the coriander, and Mudga, and green gram, and Lekupanjamula, and Sringivera. This is the medicines for that drug. And then we can use Kashaya, and with Chandraprabha Guliga, that is the Bela Kudituadi Kashaya and Chandraprabha Guliga will reduce the size of the bulkiness of the uterus. And then we can give medicines like Sugumaran Kashaya, etc. And also in adenomyosis condition of the perimenopausal age group, the Kumari Swarasa with honey is also one good choice. We can give, and the Sarasida Magarandaji Churna, and also the Ashogata milk decoction, etc. also good in this type of condition. And if there is a perimenopausal age group nearing to the 50 years, etc., Shadavariyadi Kashaya is also good in this condition. And then it may stop. And if there is endometrial hyperplasia, then please do ultrasound scan. If there is more than 20 millimeter of endometrium is there, then first do DNC and histopathology examination whether there is any chance for malignancy. If there is just cystic glandular hyperplasia, then with our Balasarpis in low dose, that is half teaspoon Balasarpis and Avibhati Churna, etc., we can treat the case. But if there is an cystic glandular hyperplasia leading to malignancy, then we can refer the patient for avoiding the spread of the malignancy, etc. That is, we have to care the perimenopausal age group, and the carcinoma risk factor is also more in that age group.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, in case of Paithika Asrikdara, how to know if it is related with Ama Anubandha or not?
Ama, this normal Ama Lakshanas. That is, Srodoroda, Belabramsha, Gaurava, Anila Mudada, Alasya Bhakti Nishtiva, Malasanga, Arjiklama, Lingam Mananam Samana. In the Paithika Asrikdara, if there is this type of Srodoroda, Belabramsha, etc., and Gaurava, that is condition, there is Ama Anubandha. Then we can give Shadanga, etc. And also the Asrikdara, the shedding of blood, and which stings the closets well, and also there is a large clot which stings easily, which also having Amanubandha, and the Pichila Sabhava, which also really reveals the Amanubandha. The nature of the Artava, that is Shuddhartava Lakshana and Dushtartava Lakshana is there. It also we can do the Ama and Niramavastha. We can do the test like that.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, also when it comes to menarche period, we get a lot of cases in the first 2 years, menarche, first
Yes.
2 years, they'll be stating that the child will be having excessive bleeding. She will not, the menses will not be regular as it is anovulatory cycles, but she'll be complaining of a lot of excessive bleeding. So what kind of management should we do during the bleeding time, in active bleeding time, as well as in post-bleeding time?
Most probably the pubertal bleeding or menarchal bleeding is the anemic bleeding. Please check the HB level first. If it is less, then Vyoshadi Takra and Annabedi Sindura are the measures. And also we can give Pushyanik Churna with honey or with Tandulodaga, etc. for stoppage of blood in the active period. And after stoppage of blood, then continue the Vyoshadi Takra and the Annabedi Sindura, etc. to reach their HB in normal level, and also give the Dadima Sorasa with the Dhanandaran Guliga. That is Dadima Sorasa and half glass Dadima Sorasa with the Dhanandaran Guliga twice daily is very much effective to treat that type of condition. And also please note their nutritional level. If there is less nutrition, etc., advise nutritious food with banana fried in ghee, etc., which is good for them. And also the use of moringa leaves and the leafy vegetables, etc., which is also good. And please avoid all types of broiler chicken and junk food in that period, because this is a precursor of all the lifestyle disorder, and all the lifestyle disorder will start at the period of puberty, will become difficult to treat in later stage.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, also if in case if the HB is normal, then should we administer something?
If HB is normal, then the reproductive apparatus will take 1 or 2 years for the normal hormonal balance. So just advise Eve Care tablet of Himalaya or Eve Care syrup of Himalaya, which is which enough is good for that time. And if they are in a state of having nutritious food, etc., there may be the advice is all, enough for treating that type of condition.
Just uterine tonics is enough.
Just uterine tonics.
Okay. Ma'am, next question. Madam, clinically, how to diagnose endometriosis case? Please explain and share some clinical experiences. It will be helpful.
Endometriosis case, I will explain firstly. Endometriosis.
Yes, clinical experiences if you have.
There are so many endometriosis cases there, and they may be first degree, second degree, third degree, and fourth degree. In first degree, there is only just dysmenorrhea during the menstruation also, and the second degree there may be 2 or 3 days before dysmenorrhea, and dysmenorrhea will continue the menstruation level, and also associated with nausea, giddiness, fatigue, etc. And third degree, there may be abdomen pain, lower abdomen pain, and thigh pain radiating the leg. And there is dysmenorrhea and vomiting sensation or vomiting is there, diarrhea is there, and severe headache is there. like that. And in 4th degree, there may be intermenstrual bleeding, intermenstrual pain also there, and the interval is too short, that is 21 days or 22 days cycles is there, and there may be severe bleeding is there. There may be large clots with profuse dysmenorrhea. Dysmenorrhea. This is the presentations. And in initial stage, we can treat with the endometriosis management. In my clinical practice, Nirgundyadi Kashaya and Gobichandanadi Guliga in the morning, and Sugumaran Kashaya with Hingutrana Daila. If there is no pittarchus or rectarchus in history taking, then I advise Hingutrana Daila, because the Hingutrana Daila is a good natural adhesional lysis and having the property of adhesional lysis. Because in endometriosis, there is Bhavishyadaha Kushtasamam Vyadhi, having adhesions is there, and there is severe adhesion to the tubes, ovaries, and etc. And the ovaries may be in kissing in form behind the uterus, etc. So the natural adhesional lysis we can attain with the Hingutrana Daila. And the dosage is 10 ml twice daily with the Kashaya, or 10 ml with the Sugumara Kashaya. Or nowadays we have have Hingutrana Daila capsule with the Chaitanya herbals, so easily to swallow. The Hingutrana Daila Triguna Resona Rasa, that is difficult to, some Kana is there, so difficult to swallow. But now there is also capsule is available for a patient friendly capsule is there. And then the Gulgulu Panchabala Churna. Here, Gulgulu Panchabala Churna is said in Bhagadara, etc. That is Gulgulu Panchabalam, Baligamsha Magadiya, Datsya, Tartudikashayudam, Madulidam, Pushtabagandara, Gulmagadiknam. Here, endometriosis is Pushtasama Vyadhi. Then this Bhagapradesha Vyadhi, it is having Gulma type of pain. And also it is having Gedi is there. That is Shakha Gedi is there. That is Ashya Abakarsha Gedi is there. So the Gulgulu Panchabala Churna is one of the apt drug for treating the endometriosis in any level. And the half teaspoon Gulgulu Panchabala Churna with honey twice daily, 15 minutes or 10 minutes before food is the dosage I usually used to given. Then if there is large endometrioma or endometrioma is there, then we have to apply some external application for reducing the size of the cyst, etc. This method is taught me by my patient, who is one Amavada Rogi. That is, I prescribe Amavada Rogi with endometriosis. She's having endometriosis and Amavada, and there is severe Triga Pradesha pain is there, and also there is lower abdomen pain is there. Then severe Triga Pradesha pain due to Amavada is there. I advise the Jadamayadi Lebachurna with Dhanyamla for the external application on the low back, on the Triga Pradesha for reducing the Amavada pain. But the patient think that it is good for reducing the pain. Then she applied over the lower abdomen also. There is a severe pain and she applied over the lower abdomen. After 2 months and then she came, there is marked relief in the pain on the that time. And she said that I applied the churna and the lower abdomen also. Then after doing the scan, there is marked difference in the size. That is 7.6 centimeter endometriosis cyst reduced to 2 centimeter with 2 months application of Jadamayadi. The initial Nirgundyadi Kashaya is there and the other Kashaya is there, and the external application with the Jadamayadi and Dhanyamla. That is it is said that Yogi is also an apta. It is our guru. So I then use the patient without any Amavada for reducing the cyst size if there is any reduction. But it is noticed that the application of Jadamayadi Lebachurna with the Dhanyamla will reduce the cyst size on the external application. Will reduce the cyst size. And then external Abhyanga and Avagaha. This is the protocol I follow for the endometriosis management. And if there is any pittarchus or rectarchus, then the Hingutrana Daila is Anubhashaya. 1 or 2 patients of my initial stage, they having some Anubhashaya with bleeding piles, etc. She does not reveal it on the history taking at that time, and so she is having Anubhashaya. Then stop the Hingutrana Daila because it contains Tat Tiguna Resona Rasa. Resona is Abatya for and rectaceous, etc., or crustaceous, etc. Then for reducing the adhesions, we have to find out other annulominal drug or for giving them, and Pippaliyadi Anuvasana Taila is used here because in rectaceous or pittaceous, Pippaliyadi Anuvasana Taila is recommended for the Anuvasana Vasti. I think the Anuvasana Taila is used in the rectal mucosa and the Pana is in the buccal mucosa. Both the mucosas are the a single and means a part of the single system. Okay, in the elementary canal system, and so for reducing the Ashayabagarsha in pittaceous and rectaceous like condition patients of endometriosis, and replace Hinguthrunadaila with the Pippaliyadi Anuvasana 10 ml with the Sukumaran Kashaya. Then if the Hinguthrunadaila reduces the size of the cyst and adhesion within 3 months, but the Pippaliyadi Anuvasana reduces with 5 months because it is not as Tikshna as like Hinguthrunadaila, but we can get the result. This is the my treatment protocol for endometriosis. I think it is clear.
Yes, it's very clear, ma'am. Ma'am, also next question. It is like I would like to split the question into 2 parts. Yes. First one is during the reproductive stage, when a patient with either with PCOD or otherwise, when she comes with a lot of spotting seed, like she has a spotting in the starting and then she has 3 or 4 days bleeding, then again she is having spotting, like that case. That is my first question, ma'am. And the second question regarding to this itself, when she is in the perimenopausal period, like after 35 years or for 40 years, if she is having any kind of spotting or reduced hypomenorrhea conditions, then how should we see both these cases and what will be the treatment protocol?
In young case or reproductive age case, the spotting may be associated with the PCOS, and most probably the PCOS is the reason for the spotting. In this condition, we have to induce bleeding with the Chiruvilluadi Kashaya, Saptasarang Kashaya, etc. We have to induce bleeding and we have to correct the hormonal pattern with our medicines like Saptasara, etc. and giving 3 months medication for the normal bleeding, and it will coming to the normal stage. And if there is any PCOS, etc., then advise strict diet and good exercise, because the medicine value is for only 1% and 99% lifestyle disorder is the PCOS and lifestyle modification is the management. So advise that and avoid day sleeping and night awakening, etc. Then we can treat that type of cases. And in perimenopausal age group, there may be severe hormonal imbalance is there for the spotted bleeding. There may be spotting for 2 to 3 days and then the bleeding is etc. like that. There may be hormonal imbalance. Then just check if there is any hormonal imbalance. Then we have to create a hormonal balance with our medicines like Chadavariyadi Kashaya, etc. And Saptasarang Kashaya, it's also good for the perimenopausal period also. And the Dhanvantaram Kashaya is good. And the Dhanvantara Nasya is also good for stopping the perimenopausal spotting and creating normal bleeding. And when the please inquire the menopause of their mothers, sisters, and the sisters of their father, etc. To do a conclusion of whether there is perimenopausal time, etc. And in any type of this spotted bleeding or heavy bleeding, etc., just do an ultrasound scan on 7th day of menstruation to rule out any structural anomaly is there. Any is there, then we can use and that we can treat the case accordingly. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Then another question. In case of menorrhagia associated with PCOD, for how many days should we use Jambuvalka Kwada?
All the Jambuvalka Kwada, the Ashwagandha decoction, etc., I advise for 7 days. But if there is PCOD and if there is less amount of HB, then there it's difficult to stop with the Jambuvalka Kwada or Ashwagandha Kwada, etc. If we give this condition the Kwada for reducing the bleeding for 7 days, if there is not stopping with the 7 days, and also if there is any drop of HB is there, then we have to stop the menstruation anyway. So use Durvadikrida or Durvasvarasa or Vashasvarasa for Nasya and for the stoppage of bleeding for emergency management of us.
Ma'am, another question. I don't know whether it is related with abnormal uterine bleeding. How to do a uterus shodhana? Is there any medicines that helps in uterus shodhana?
Garbhashay Shodhana. There is one kashaya. It is termed as Garbhashay Shodhana kashaya. That is Desamula Anija Nalinam Sprika Yeranda Shibascha Payel Sapayakwa the Garbhashay Vishuddhe. That is Desamula and Nalina and Sprika Yeranda Shifa. These are the drugs. Payel Sapayakwa the Garbhashay Vishuddhe. There is one kashaya said in I think it is said in Chigilsa Manjari and Vaiditaraga, etc. Same drug, drug is said. And also the Misraga Sneha is it is a laxation, and it is also having the laxation and regarding with the reproductive system also. So we can do that is Sadhi Shodhana with Misraga Sneha for 3 or 4 days just after the menstruation, which also giving Garbhashay Shodhana. And also there is one drug that is the Uruveran. That means Bhandari, or it is also known as Clerodendron, Peringelum or Perimelum, etc. Its root decoction is also Garbhashay Shodhana. And it is also the fallopian tube Shodhana, Garbhashay Shodhana, etc. And we are giving these drugs while our Sudhika Paricharya for the Garbhashay Shodhana. It is very much effective. Milk decoction. One root and remove the outer skin and inner thick stem, means thick root part, and pasted the fleshy part well, and half glass milk, 4 glass water, boiled well, reduced to 1 glass, and use once per day.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Ma'am, also, when there is more clots that is associated with menorrhagia, does it have any significance, and what should be diagnosed for or rule out for?
If there is more clots in any way, we have to stop the menstruation first. So use Mitsuligadiradi, Pushyanu, etc. And we can use the Dhanandarandaila, Piju with the Navanida and Murthnadaila, etc. for stoppage of menstruation first, and then rule out the cause. It may be due to many clots, may be due to adenomyosis or due to endometrial hyperplasia. While finding out the main cause and treat accordingly. Initially, we have to stop the bleeding, then rule out the cause and treat accordingly.
Ma'am, now there is a case discussion. A patient who is under modern medication of depression with psychotic features had missed periods for 5 months with history of PCOD. So how can we treat it?
Yes, in this case, the psychotic factor is maybe the reason for PCOS also, because stress is one of the main factors for PCOS, because the hypothalamus and the stress factor is very near. This is the one of the cause. Dhairyatmadi Vijnanam, and in our concern, Kalyana Kashaya and Kalyana Krida is effective in this type of PCOS condition to treat both the psychosis and the PCOS, etc. Kalyana Kashaya and Kalyana Krida, etc. Then advise to be physically active, and behavioral therapists may advise with the pranayama, yoga, etc. And also their mothers or the surroundings and patients should also be with very loving and also caring them. Then only we can treat. Otherwise, it is very difficult, because the psychotic drugs are also causing for amenorrhea sometimes.
Okay. Madam, do constipation and anal bleeding during ovulation period, but regular menstruation has any underlying pathology?
Maybe there may be rectal endometriosis there. During ovulation, there may be an anal bleeding and etc. There may be rectal endometriosis is there. Pipalyadi Anuvasana Taila Matravasti is effective in such cases. And also if there is regular bleeding and if there is any, and watch for any sign of endometriosis and other, but there is rectal endometriosis evident in this type of cases. And during menstruation also there may be anal bleeding in the rectal endometriosis, and severe constipation is maybe there. So Pipalyadi Anuvasana Thaila Matravasti is effective, and also the Chirulyadi Kashaya internally is also effective.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, also in conditions like menorrhagia, which is preceded by blackish discharge for many days, how to treat it? As you had said about the Garbhashaya Shodhaka medicine, can we give that?
Yes, we can give Garbhashaya Shodhana Kashaya, and also we can give the Misraga Sneha, etc. for shut out the menstruation and rule out the cause.
Okay. What is the treatment for 26-day cycle in perimenopausal age without heavy bleeding? Any treatment to make the cycle of 30 days?
There's no need, because 26 days, 28 days plus or minus 7 days is normal. 26 days cycles without any reason, there is no need for any treatment. It is normal. Okay. Let it go.
Ma'am, can you please explain the treatment of heavy bleeding due to estrogen withdrawal?
Due to estrogen withdrawal, if there is an heavy bleeding is there, then we have to support them with the phytoestrogen like yam, etc. And the good source of phytoestrogen also the Shadavari. Shadavari adi Kashaya and Shadavari Guliga, Shadavari milk decoction. We can treat with the heavy bleeding with the estrogen and withdrawal.
Also, ma'am, can you please explain the Ayurvedic management of endometrioma?
Endometrioma is the large endometriotic cyst present in the ovary or the pelvis, etc. The management is the same. That is Nirkundyadi Kashaya, Sugumaran Kashaya, Hingutrunadaila Sugumana, and Gulgulu Panchabala Churna, and Jadamayadi Lebana, etc. And assess HB, CRP, and CA125 initially. And if there is an HB is less, then add some hematinic drugs like Annabedi Sindhura, etc. And CRP is increased, then there is active endometrioma or there is active infection is there, then add the septic like or Gulgulu Tikta Krida, etc. for reducing the infection, and then Avaishwandra Churna, etc. Then if there is CA125 is more than 300, etc., then let the patient to do surgery. Otherwise, it will not give results with our medication. And if there is 100 or 125, etc., CA125, then we can reduce with our medication. And for 3 months medication, after we also recheck the value of CA125. If it is regressing, we can treat very well. And if it is increasing, then we can know it is sometimes there may be like malignant condition, then we can advise the patient.
Ma'am, another case, ma'am, 55-year-old post-menopausal woman with PV bleeding, endometrial thickness is 17 mm, uterus normal size, ovaries is 4 to 5 cc, pap smear is normal, advised endometrial biopsy. So what should be the line of treatment?
Endometrial biopsy and histopathology examination, because postmenopausal bleeding, there may be some pathology with carcinoma endometrium. So histopathology, DNC and histopathology is the otherwise the histopathology without DNC also they do histopathology with biopsy, etc. They can do. And initial line of treatment, roll out this, and if there is no malignant proper malignant thing, then treat with the Shadavari Adi Kashaya. Shadavari Adi Kashaya is good for postmenopausal bleeding, but initially, first and foremost thing, rule out malignancy for saving the life.
Ma'am, there is a question regarding the dosage of Annabedi Sindhura and Vyoshadi Takra.
Annabedi Sindhura 3 pinch, I told in the class, 3 pinch with a sufficient amount of lime juice and honey, twice daily. Then the Vyoshadi Takra, It is half glass Vyoshadi Takra.
Ma'am, also can you please tell us how to make this Vyoshadi Takra? There is 2, 3.
Vyoshaja Moja Tamirama Karimbirimbu Pathyabela Pulinyarambu Purana Kittam. This is the medicine for the Vyoshadi Takra, preparation of Vyoshadi Takra said in Sahasra Yoga. Please refer Sahasra Yoga, Vyoshadi Takra, you can get.
Okay, okay. I don't know whether this is related. What all should be mentioned in USG abdomen and pelvis, the order form?
No order form. Just if we want to know the endometriosis or fibroid or etc. like pathologies, just advise to the radiologist. Kindly do USG abdomen and pelvis to rule out any uterine or adnexal cyst or fibroid or any PCOS or any means adnexal mass, etc., pelvic mass, etc. And kindly mention endometrial thickness and ovarian volume, because the endometrial thickness is significant and ovarian volume is also significant to rule out PCOS like condition, etc. And please advise that. And if we suspect any systemic disease like hepatomegaly, etc., while seeing the patients, we can suspect like that. Then please advise abdomen and pelvis to roll out this thing, and also fatty hepatomegaly or splenomegaly, etc. Because if there is menorrhagia associated with hepatomegaly or liver cirrhosis, it can stop with our medicines like Musli Gadiradi, etc. This which need Vasha Guluchya Kashaya, Arogyavardhini Vadi, and Vrishakhrida and Rajanyadi Churna for the treatment of menorrhagia related with liver disorders, hepatic disorders like condition. Because liver is the Asraya Sthana of Rektavasrodhas, and also the menorrhagia may be due to that disorder also. And the liver cancer also producing an menorrhagia. So we can, we have, while doing ultrasound scan, we can visualize the if there is any hepatomegaly or if there is any chronic liver disease, then SGOT, SGPT we can do with the blood test and treat accordingly with the Vasha Guluchari Kashaya, Arogyavardhini, etc.
Ma'am, this is a question regarding the post delivery. Patient have irregular menses. Her baby is 10 months old. So how to treat this irregularity?
No, there is no worry, because lactating women having irregular periods, it is normal. But if there is any pathology before the pregnancy, that is if there is any PCOS or like condition, etc., then treat accordingly if there is any condition. Otherwise, there is no need for any medication. Then just advise their nutrition well, and taking the Dandima Swarasa and nutritious food, Mudga Yusha, etc. for caring their health well. Otherwise, there is no need for the treating like that. And just advise, ovulation can occur in irregular menstruation also. So be careful for the next pregnancy, etc.
Okay. Ma'am, also, when there is an intramural fibroid of size 58 mm.
58 mm means 5.8 cc, centimeter.
So can we treat it?
Yes, intramural fiber 5.86, etc. we can treat it. And just if there is any menorrhagia related with, then treat it with that type of medication initially first, that is stop the menstruation with the Musli Gadiradi, etc. Then treat with the Trayandyadi Kashaya, Kalyanagatshara 3-pinch and Kanjanara Guliga twice daily. And also the Chirulyadi Krida is effective to treating the intramural fibroids, half teaspoon twice daily before food. And avoid all fatty, salty, fried items and junk food, and with the mamsaharas, because Vruddhi Samane Sarvesha.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Ma'am, next question. A patient having worm infestation for 7 years after delivery every month, along with anemia. So how should we see this case?
Here we can do the Krimihara Chikitsa itself. Nirgundyadi Kashaya is Krimihara, studied in Krimihara and Chikilsa. So Nirgundyadi Kashaya we can advise, Vidanga Tanduladi Churna we can advise, and also Vidanga Sava we can advise, and Krimiknavadi with Drona Pushpi Sorasa and honey for 10 days initially. Then avoid all sweet tea and coconut food like that, which is Krimija. Avoid all madhura ahara, etc. And also applying of coconut oil, coconut milk boiled with saindava around the anus region at the night, which will reduce the infestation of worms. Because at the night the small hookworms are coming down and lay egg there. And applying the coconut milk with the saindava and boil well and around the anus, it will reduce. And please advise the proper Vyakti Shujita and cutting the nails, etc. These all are important in this type of conditions. We can treat the case.
Okay. Ma'am, you are fine, right? Can we continue for?
Yes, there is no problem.
Okay. Ma'am, whether dysmenorrhea occur without any underlying cause, and if so, what should we treat it or not?
If there is one-day dysmenorrhea or spasmodic dysmenorrhea, no treatment is needed. Just only the pacification with Hingu Ajadi Churna or with the Moringa Tuk and Leshuna Swaras and Ardraga Swarasa with Saindava is good for reducing the dysmenorrhea. So only for the spasmodic dysmenorrhea, if there is, and just abate soon after the onset of menstruation, it will go after first delivery, etc. The spasmodic dysmenorrhea will go. There is no need for further treatment. But if the dysmenorrhea is persisting or it is having associated symptoms like that, and if it is making hindrance to her to do their day-to-day life, then we have to treat.
Okay. Ma'am, there is a question. How can we differentiate between the first postnatal period associated with heavy bleeding and DUB?
First postnatal bleeding
means I guess that after the post delivery she is getting the first bleeding, but it is heavy.
If post delivery there is bleeding, that is lochia rubra is there, lochia serosa and lochia alba is there. There is a normal bleeding of post delivery, lochia rubra, serosa and alba. The initial stage there is heavy bleeding, then reduce the bleeding and then reduce. And if there is large amount of bleeding, and then check HB. If there is any HB level fall, then treat accordingly with hematinic, etc. And if there is a large bleeding in the postnatal period, which is not normal, please do ultrasound scan. There may be some retained clots or some cotton or some instruments within the uterus may cause that heavy bleeding. One of my patients is died due to that surgical complications and heavy bleeding in the postnatal period. So if there is heavy bleeding, then rule out the cause. If there is any like that iatrogenic cause is there, then only do any management.
Ma'am, during this feeding time, we'll get menstruation. So that will also be very much irregular, no ma'am?
Feeding time, there may be irregularity because there may be lactating mothers having some irregularity in menstruation. But while attaining the normal health, there may be regular menstruation. There is no problem.
Ma'am, another question. You had already told this regarding the menarche bleeding, but she is asking that a patient of 10 years, menarche started normal bleeding for 1 week. Then spotting and bleeding off and on since 15 days, not taking any kind of junk food, having nutritious diet. What should be the treatment?
Just do the thyroid examination. If there is any hypothyroidism, etc., there may be some like that. If there is no hypothyroidism, etc., there may be just pubertal menorrhagia. Then give the Anabedi Sindura, etc., if there is pallor, etc. Otherwise, just give the uterine tonic like Eve-Care, etc., for normalizing the pattern, because 10 years menarche, it is somewhat early menarche.
Yes.
So And 9 years, there is 9 years, even here, 8 years menarche is there. That is precocious puberty is there. It is difficult to manage with this type of small kids. Then, and 10 years or 11 years, then we have treat it with like puberty menorrhagia. If there is no underlying pathology, then just uterine tonic is given for 3 months for regularizing them.
Ma'am, also treatment of bulky uterus having intramural fibroid 2.2 into 1.8 centimeters and 1.3 into 1.4 centimeters subserosal fibroid also.
Subserosal fibroid is not problem. It is subserous or submucous fibroid or intracavity is having the tendency for getting malignancy. Subserous fibroid is in the outer skin. There is no problem. And 1.8 2 or 3 centimeter, it is no problem. If it is perimenopausal age group, while attaining menopause, it will regress selfly. So no further management is needed. Just do good and also the bulkiness of your uterus we can treat with Belagoditwadi Kashaya and Chandraprabha Guliga, and the intramural fibroid size we can reduce with the use of Kanjanara Guliga and Triandiadi Kashaya, etc., or Chirviluadi Kashaya, etc. It is only needed in this type of condition. If she is attained menopause, then it will regress during the menopausal time.
Okay. Ma'am, there is another big case study. I'll just read. Is it okay, ma'am? You're
yes.
fine?
Yes, I'm fine. Please do.
Okay. Ma'am, a 42-year female is having severe bleeding associated with clots since 10 years. She neglected it as the bleed is normal during menstruation. Recently, she consulted allopathic doctors and they have done USG. Findings are uterus is moderately bulky with infection and no fibroids. Endometrium is also normal. Her HB is 9.8. She will have bleeding for 5 days. She used allopathic hormonal medications and tranexamic acid during periods for 3 months. And after using that, she was normal for 4 months. Again, she developed the same complaint. Now, tranexamic acid is not sufficient for her. So, how can we treat this condition and how to approach it?
Yes, we can treat the condition. This is the bulky uterus with the bleeding, no other pelvic pathology. Then Belagoditwadi Kashaya, Musli Khadiradi Kashaya, and Pushyanik Churna, etc. is needed in this treatment. And she said that there is some infection in the uterus. It's
yes,
how they detect the infection with any endometrial sampling or any cervical sampling, etc. Then we need to take Gulgulu Panchavala Churna for reducing the infection and Gulgulu Tikta Krida for reducing the infection, which will reduce it well. And also the use of Guluchadi Kashaya Spana is also reducing this type of infection, and Negrodadi Kashaya Avagaha, which also good for reducing this infection in this level.
Okay, ma'am. Sorry, as the continuation, she has also told that she had history of hypothyroidism.
Had history of hypothyroidism, Jen just know whether now the thyroid level is good or the medication is sufficient. And also in this type of condition with hypothyroidism and menorrhagia, we can use the Lejalu milk decoction, that is the Bryophyllum sensitivum milk decoction, and which treat both the hypothyroidism and menorrhagia.
Okay. Ma'am, one last question, ma'am. This is a little bit different, deviated from this abnormal uterine bleeding, but this Dr. Ujjwala, she has been sending the same message since 2-3 chats. So I'm asking you, ma'am, how to treat recurrent breast fibroadenoma, Vada Pitta Prakriti patient, no relief by Kanchanara Gugulu Yavakshara. Because of this medicine, patient developed a body pain, Vada Pragoba. Can we give Vidaryadi Kashaya in this patient?
Dear doctor, don't worry. Please do Amrudottaram Kashaya in this patient. and Punarnavadi Aspana for reducing the body pain, etc. And the Amrutotharam Kashaya will reduce the inflammatory condition, and the fibroadenoma will very well respond the Amrutotharam Kashaya. And please advise omega-3 fatty acid sufficient diet for them for preventing the fibrocystic changes. S of omega is one of the medicine available with the Oryx Pharma, I think. And it is also good for reducing the fibroadenoma size, etc. And the recurrent fibroadenoma we can treat with the Amrutotharam Kashaya itself. And the Amrutotharam is also Vadanulomana, Jorahara, anti-inflammatory, pain hara, that is the Angamardhara, etc. So we can use like that. In Kanjanara Guliga, in every condition, it is not need to use the Kanjanara itself, because there may be lot of patient having allergy with Kanjanara Gugulo tablets like that. So we can initially use the simple method like Amrutotharam for treating the fibroadenoma, etc.
Okay, okay, ma'am. One more, ma'am. In your practice, can you please tell us where in which all conditions you use Sukumara Kashaya, and in which all conditions you use Saptasara Kashaya, madam?
In endometriosis condition and in Vadiga type of condition, I use Sukumaram Kashaya, and in Grandhi Arthava like condition and PCOS related condition, I use Saptasaram Kashaya.
Okay, okay. Okay. So, ma'am, we have come to the end of the discussion, ma'am.
Okay, thank you all doctors for the wonderful discussion.
But first of all, we need to thank you so much, because with such a patience, you answered each and every question, ma'am. Thank you so much, madam.
It is my duty as an Ayurvedic propagator. Also, we all Ayurvedic doctors, our duty is also love Ayurveda, learn Ayurveda, propagate Ayurveda, and living through Ayurveda. So it is my duty, and thank you all for the cooperation and discussion and patient hearing. And once again, my humble prayer, Sreyo Bhuyat Sagala Janana.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
And also, there is a information to all the listeners, all the participants. If you want to get the recordings, please join to the Ayurveda Map group. The link is being added in the chat box. Please join that group and message in that group so that you will get the recordings of today's classes. And I have just, with your permission, madam, I have just unmuted the participants. And if you are okay, then if any of the participants who wish to speak to madam can just have a fast chat. Please don't delay it, as madam has already been patient with us. So if anybody wish to talk, please unmute yourself and have a fast discussion with madam.
Hello, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for this wonderful class. Actually, I had a doubt not related to this topic. But ma'am, a patient came with recurrent breast abscess. She has undergone IND for 2 times, and later different places abscess is developing, ma'am. Can we do anything regarding?
In this case, recurrent breast abscess case, the Padoladi Kashaya and Padoladi Krida and Virejana is must. Padoladi Krida, and after that Virejana, then give Amrutotharam Kashaya and Gulgulu Panchabala Churna for preventing the recurrence of the abscess. Okay, doctor, I think it is clear.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Nimpamridasava, Punarnavasava, and Abhyarishta is also good in this type of condition for preventing the inflammatory changes.
I hope it's clear, ma'am. So next participant, you can please ask.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, doctor.
Ma'am, I just want to ask, is Mirena helpful in fibroid, ma'am? Mirena system.
Mirena system is helpful in bleeding control only. I think it has no use with the fibroid. It just control the bleeding.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Anyone else? Anyone else? If you wish to speak, please make it fast.
Hello.
Good evening, madam. Very good lecture. A small doubt.
Thank you, doctor.
35 years female who unmarried. They continue. She's having a menorrhagia. Menorrhagia means she used some hormones also. In middle it was stopped, but spotting is continuously there. They advised hysterectomy now. What is your advice, madam?
If there is injudicious administration of contraceptive pills or hormonal pills, etc., then the menorrhagia can control with medicine. They advise hysterectomy. If there is injudicious administration prior, then in such a condition we can treat with our Musalighadiradi Kashaya and Raktastambhanobaya. If there is stopping of menorrhagia is there and anatomically her uterus and adnexia are normal, then we can prevent the hysterectomy. But the hysterectomy is the last resort to do for the menorrhagic condition. And if there is injudicious administration of hormone and if there is severe anatomical variation in the endometrium, then only the hysterectomy is advised for controlling the menorrhagia.
Okay. But endometrium is okay. Only she's having some bulky uterus.
Bulky uterus we can treat with the Bela Guditwari Kashaya and Chandraprabha, etc. Sugumaran Kashaya also good, and Kumari Surasa with with honey is good, and Pushyanu Churna with Tandulodaga is also good for treating the bulky uterus, etc.
Okay. Thank you, madam. So then we can take up that case, na? No
Take
problem.
that case for and just watch, observe the result. And if there is no cessation with our medicine, and please take her HB level. If there is a normal HB, then do with our medicine, and also Nasya if needed, you can do. And if there is any hepatic pathology, then do the Arogya means the Vashaglulchari Kashaya and Arogyavardhini, etc., Vrishagrida, etc., for stoppage of menstruation. And just realize her actual thing and hepatic level, blood level, and physical activity, etc. And also advise proper rest. And if needed, please do Nasya, etc. If all the measures are is with worthless, then only advice is taken.
Okay.
Thank you so much. So I think we can wind up the session. Thank you so much for being with us and being so patient with us, madam. Thank you for also sharing your experiences and all the matters. It was really informative class, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm sure that we will start practicing with like less doubts, because we have almost cleared all the doubts regarding the abnormal uterine bleeding. So thank you once again, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank God. Thank you all. Okay.